Bienvenido, damas y caballeros. Welcome back to Freeform Radio on that Freeform Network. Remember, follow us on Facebook and X at Freeform Network. Send in questions and suggestions, ffnquestions at gmail.com. For me, my name is Daniel. We jump it over to Andy.
It's all good, Andy. The gang's all back together, and it looks like winter came early.
Heck yeah. And we got Noel.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us for another one.
For sure, man. Yeah, like Andy said, man, got some snow in this morning. So I I guess fall is just like a week or two, and then now it's right into winter. But well, we'll see, man. I think I heard we're supposed to get 60s this next week, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, man, we hope everybody's ready to jump into this week. Let's start it off with Andy, man. Fill us in. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get over this cold, but fill us in on that 50-year mortgage proposal. Um, Fill us in on what's going on.
So there's a couple things. I think that happened this week. So, or one of them was actually today as this recording. But I was reading this morning before I went to church that they're working on creating a 50-year mortgage with the help of Trump. When I read that, I was kind of shocked because I think a 30-year is pretty high. They're going to try to make it 50 to make it somewhat more affordable, I guess. But with the interest rates, um, I don't know. I feel like you're going to be paying a hell of a lot more interest long term and to build equity into your house. Think about it. If you buy a house in your late 20s, early 30s, a 50-year mortgage, you're never going to pay that off. I mean, you'll be in your 80s and still making payments compared to a 30. And then the numbers are just, it's basically what I call the uh, poor people economics. You're concerned about the payment, not what the actual cost of your property or your house is going to be. It's like the cars. Remember, the max was like a 5-year car loan, then it went to six. When I bought my truck and my truck's paid off, I remember they were pushing a 7-year on me, and I'm like, "What? 7 years? Like, nah, I'm good." Um, I got the five, but I guess I really don't know what's behind it. Maybe I keep thinking it's something the banksters or the banks trying to control people, and that whole thing of you'll never own anything and be happy is coming to fruition more and more. Have you guys heard anything about that? Is that something you would even entertain?
I've never heard of it, but it does kind of make sense with everything being so expensive. I mean, depending on what you're looking for, where you're looking to live, you're looking at the bare minimum a $200,000 home, $300,000 home. And if you want something reasonable, move in, nice, you're looking at $500,000. So that's a lot of money. Even for a working class person, middle class, let's say, it means that both of you have to work to live comfortably, to pay off the house, pay off a car note, pay for childcare and eat, So I could understand a 50-year mortgage proposal as far as let's drag out the payments. And you're totally right, Andy. I mean, it's going to make the interest that you're going to pay to that house, astronomical. But maybe it becomes something where, let's say I take advantage of that, where Junior would finish paying off the house after I'm long and gone because, I might not live another 50 years to pay it off. So,
You won't.
yeah. So probably not. So, yeah, for sure. It's like one of those things where it makes sense for people that are strapped. I mean, some people don't have a couple situation even. Maybe it's just a single person that doesn't have a dual income with another partner. So 50-year mortgage might be the only way you can make it work.
In that case, don't even buy a house because you're never gonna own it. and the equity that you might get out of it is not even going to be that much, to be honest with you. And it just, you're paying like, it's gonna be like you're adding, I don't even know the math. It's gonna be a hell of a lot more interest. The bank's gonna make a shit ton of money, and
Right.
then you're just gonna lose. To me, it's like, if you can't do it, don't buy it. I know I'm in that camp, the Dave Ramsey camp, save up for it. But it's, I feel for people, like you said, that a lot of people can't afford it. They're struggling, but yeah, I mean, it sucks. And affordable homes are, they're affordable, but they're just in really rough areas. So, I don't know, man. I just, to me, it doesn't make sense. It's poor people. You're suckering poor people. Like, don't worry, like, we'll make it work. Your payments are only gonna be this, but you added another 20 fucking years to the mortgage. Think about it, the 30 year, and then you're adding another 20. It's like insane. I mean, what are you gonna be buying a house in the early 20s? Even maybe by then, maybe you'll pay it off. And
Well, no, no, Noel, you were kind of entertaining maybe getting a home. Does this sound appealing to you, or would you like to stick to more of a traditional, 30-year mortgage?
I ideally 30 years, but try to pay it off sooner. That's what I've been hearing a lot of people do.
Right.
There's like, everyone says they have a hack or whatever, but I still haven't looked into it too much just because it's not a realistic idea for me to do at this current time, being that I'm single. Nowadays, it's like if you want to buy a house, you kind of need two incomes or one really large income, which I have to work to get to. So I make all right for myself, just not enough to be able to buy a house in this economy with these interest rates and overinflated prices on houses that are barely worth that. So right now, you're right, man. It's kind of like a fantasy for people to think they're gonna own a house, whereas back in the day, you work a 9 to 5, you have a solid chance of getting something, worth keeping, worth having. Nowadays, that's not the case, man. So it is what it is, man. We gotta figure it out.
But let's say like uh, uh, not to speak too much specifics about you, but with one income, what if a 50-year mortgage would make the payments affordable for you? Andy's right, you wouldn't build too much equity into the house, but maybe you start off at a 50, pay it off for a few years, you become a couple, now you refinance and change it to a 30-year, maybe change it down to a 15-year, whatever the case would be. To me, that sounds like a good option for a person like yourself, where you're single and like you said, it's difficult to pay a mortgage by yourself, but maybe this is an option so at least you're paying something into your pocket versus just paying rent.
The issue with that, and I've run numbers years ago, on how it would be to buy a house years ago. This is like around COVID time, so it's pretty wild. Um, and the numbers that I ran, even like let's say a 300,000, 350,000 house, I would easily be paying over $1 million with a 30-year mortgage, and that's with interest and everything. So I'm paying like almost over three times the cost of the house. Now, how many times am I going to be paying if I do 50 years? That's almost double the 30 years, right? So I'd be paying probably $2 million for this house at when it's all said and done on my last final payment, unless I do something throughout those
Right.
50 years, right? And I win the lottery or the AI doesn't end up taking off the way it does, which I don't know, man, I think it is. So I don't know. It's hard for me to say. For some people, it might work, but I'm not cool with having given somebody, whoever's lending me this money, whatever bank that is, millions of dollars for a house that's not worth that and probably will never be worth that. That's just
I
my view.
I think the view you're having, Noel, it's a little bit short-sighted, to be honest with you. You gotta look at it as the house is a long-term investment, and when you do sell it, if you were there 20 plus years, you're gonna get more than what you put down and some more. And then that could be, you could use that money to do other stuff, retirement, or you can even take loans against the property that you own to do more, to do. something else if you're, but hopefully you don't do that.
It,
The fastest way to build money in this country is only owning real estate. And even when downtime is what, what rich people do, they buy properties because they're getting pennies on the dollar. And I know it's hard to say with people, especially when people are struggling, but that's why during the recession and all that, people were fighting to keep their houses because the long, guess what the banks did? They got them dirt cheap, and then people bought them even cheaper because the banks didn't want to lose money. The banks won. The only people that made money are people who had money. I think this reminds me of that. We went to visit one of my uncles where we grew up, and I think you went to see the house stand that was next to him. I don't know if you remember by the church. There's
Right.
like
Yeah.
you're telling me there's a squatter.
Yeah.
I
That was
told
one
my
inside.
wife, you know how much they bought that house for? They bought it for $80,000 in 2012. And the guy who owns it now, they estimate the house to be worth 200. He three timed his money. So think about that. It's worth like 250, 260 right now, what the market should get. And like that's what happens. People who don't people who have money or have something, that's how you make the money.
So you're changing your mind because earlier you were saying save your money before you buy a house.
To pay,
I
save the money to get the down payment. Yeah,
Oh, just a down payment, but
yeah.
so you're not against a 50-year mortgage because that's the way you were
I'm
making it
against
sound.
that. Yeah, I mean that's to me that's poor people math. Oh, we'll make the payments work. No, you want to know how much you're spending to you want to know how much the property's worth or whatever you're gonna get before you start working terms with the bank or whatever.
Oh, okay, because the way you were making it sound with Noel's proposal that he wouldn't take advantage of the 50-year because he would
No,
be
you're
paying
not making.
triple. Well, I'm sorry, hold on. That you were against what Noel was saying because he would pay triple the amount of the house, but then you were saying that's a poor way of thinking about it because you
Yeah,
should pay into it because it's your money at least.
that's
So
just
is it
how
that
the
you're against it or are you
that's how the
for?
business works. It's not that I'm against it, but like Noel said, I'm paying this much interest into something, but that's the cost of buying the house to with the bank. Yeah, you're gonna pay double if you get the 50, and the house is not gonna be worth that. But if you pay the house off, you're gonna make the banks make your money, and you're gonna make your money when you sell the house.
Right.
And you could take loans against it, and you could do a lot of things if you have the house as collateral.
No, and I agree with you. To me, I think even a 50-year mortgage is better than nothing. It's better than paying rent because you're paying rent, you're not getting anything. I would rather pay 3 times the amount the house is worth with the pay that I get so I can be able to own something at the very end or have the possibility of
Yeah.
owning something if I live that long.
Yeah, that's a decision like you and your family would have to make. I get it if you have a kid and they want to live there after you're gone, or they're the ones that are going to reap the rewards, to be honest with you.
Right,
And if
right,
that's what you want, yeah, then you're leaving something for your kids that they could sell and they'll get something a foot ahead than you got, any of us ever did. I mean, your parents might leave you something, but their biggest asset is the house, right?
for
Especially if it's
sure.
paid off. Yeah. So, food for thought. I recommend owning a property, a house, even start small. Hell, even a condo. But if you get a condo, get a two-bedroom, not a one-bedroom. Um, in townhouses, I'm not a big fan of those. But you know, you people gotta do what they gotta do for their families, and I get it. But I don't recommend the 50-year. Never. Get the 30-year, save up, and if you're a first-time home buyer, there's things they do where they can help you with the down payment, and I think even to an extent maybe a special interest thing, interest that you might get. So, but let me change it up real quick. Trump also announced today that we're going to get $2,000 dividends from the tariffs to everybody except those who are extremely high income. I think that's Danny and me. We're not going to get those
Jesus.
two G's. But
Really?
there's a big dispute on how it's going to be given up. They don't know if they're going to send you checks or they're going to give you an as a tax break, like I guess the overtime thing is gonna be a tax break, not like they're gonna just not gonna let you keep it, you know? And so there's a big argument about that right now, but he announced that this morning or on his True Social, and so it's 2,000 per person or U.S. citizen or taxpayer. I don't know how that's gonna get. It's another thing that's gonna get uh, figured out. But if it's 2,000 stimulus check, or is it 2,000 a tax write-off thing? So, um, and then he said people who are against the tariffs are fools and stuff like, usual Trump speech, Trump tweets and stuff. So, um, who knows when they're gonna get paid out? I'm guessing everybody here can use the two G's. Is that something that how do you think it's gonna be paid out through check or tax break?
Yeah, this is the first time kind of hearing about it, but I would assume either or would work. I wouldn't want it to be honest. I think stuff like this creates inflation. Um, but I right now I'm blessed with a job, so I don't really need $2,000, but I would definitely take it if they're giving it out. I'll put it in my account just like I did the last time he sent out free money.
Give
But
it to
yeah,
Noel, man.
but yeah, I think stuff like this creates inflation. I don't think it's necessary. If the government has a surplus of money, guess what? Pay the debt. Pay the debt down. I don't think we need to give people money like that. Um, but that's just my thought. But check or tax break, it would end up being the same. It'd be curious if everybody would get it. Like, would my son get a $2,000 tax break? And me being his parent, would that be my money or would it be his money? So, yeah, that would create some really unique, interesting dynamics.
Danny's like rent's due.
Right.
What about you, Noel?
I kind of agree. I think it might cause more harm than good, but I'm not an economist. I don't really know the intricacies of how it'll all play out. Um, we've gotten stimulus checks before, it didn't really help too much, it seems, in terms of the economy as a whole. So I don't know. If they give it, and obviously I'd rather have it than not have it, but probably probably a tax break, I guess.
Yeah, all this tax break shit with Trump lately is pissing me off. Like the OT stuff. I thought it was just gonna be like they're not taxing it. It's like, no, it's a tax thing, like a tax write-off thing, and then there's like a cap too. I was reading when that passed, and then this, and then there's some other stuff in the works. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, either or, like the whole tax stuff to me gets like complicated. You gotta get like a tax guy, figure all that shit out, and I don't know how you claim it, because it's this. So we can go from there. But yeah, hopefully, I think I would probably just get it. I'll take it. I always take free money and just put it in the bank, and hopefully the inflation won't make it bad because it's the taxes from the collection from the tariffs. So that's why it's uh uh it's not inflation, it's money they already got. So we'll see. Um but let's change it up. Let's lighten it up a little bit, man. I see Noel saw this movie that I haven't seen in forever, and ironically, it's not on cable a lot either. I see you watch City Slickers 1 and 2. Um, I remember at one time they were gonna make a third one, but what does it still hold up? I think this was made like early 90s, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yep, that's it. It's 91 when the first
Yeah.
one came out. And yeah, it's considered a buddy comedy, contemporary Western. It's got Billy Crystal, Daniel Stern from Home Alone. It's got Bruno Kirby. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Unfortunately passed away, but he was in Good Morning Vietnam, When Harry Met Sally. So it's got a good trio of comedy people here. So yeah, I grew up watching this as a kid. I watched both of them growing up, and I always thought it was just one of those fun movies. Like it's a wholesome movie. It's about a guy who's actually, ironically, almost he's a little bit older than me, but it's about middle age, right? So he's like gonna be almost 40. He's like 38, 39, and he's had like this midlife crisis. He doesn't really know what he's doing. He's kind of tired of the mundane day to day of work, home. And his wife is like fed up and just wants him to get out of the house and go do something fun and kind of, she says, bring his smile back, like bring his happiness back, his joy for life. So his buddies, they kind of rope him into going on this Western cowboy like excursion adventure thing. And so it's like a thing they sign up for, right? And there's a company that does that. They get them to be cowboys for like a week and they go and like try to wrangle up some cows and transport them to another area. And throughout this whole journey, like a lot of stuff happens and they bond over it and they almost die, they cry, they laugh, and it's a whole experience. And as a kid, I loved it. It was just a good, wholesome movie and good memories. So I ended up picking up one and two. They were on sale for Blu-ray, and the company that does it, Shout Factory. Also, another note, side note here, Shout Factory just got bought out, and now they're part of
Yeah.
Groove or Grove. So
Groove,
that's
yeah. Yeah, I
yeah,
saw that.
it's
It was
a
like a big deal.
crazy, huge deal, man. And they might go streaming. I've been hearing all sorts
Mm-hmm.
of stuff. Crazy time right now in the physical media, but anyway, so while it was on sale, I was like, let me pick these two up, dude. And the quality is really good in the Blu-ray. Like the restoration was phenomenal. It looks good with the 4K upscale. Colors are good, everything, and it's a fun movie, man. It does hold up to me, but I also have nostalgia. So who knows? Maybe people that didn't grow up with it might not like it as much. But if you like cowboys, you like comedies, this is one of those. This is kind of like Hangover before Hangover and all those kind of movies. So. Um, but yeah, I ended up watching both of those. What did you think about them, Andy?
I remember them fondly. I remember the first one used to be on cable all the time, and then the second one, I thought it was strange because Curly, right, the guy that died in the first one came back, but it's like his twin brother or some shit, right, or some goofy shit like that.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
and then I remember there was like news that they were gonna do a third one, but it just never came to fruition. And then the only thing I remember, yeah, like the movie, the first one, the Stern character or whatever, he was like always pretend to be asleep when his wife walked in or some shit. And they just to me as an adult man now, and yeah, I'm like I completely understand them as a kid. I thought it was just funny, but now I get why he does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's funny, man. I've never seen this movie or either one. I've never seen either one, so it's like it looks funny and I should probably watch it, but I've never had an opportunity to watch it.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. At some point, you should watch these, man. It's got a 6.8 on IMDb, so it's a respectable score for a comedy, and it's 67,000 votes, so it's almost a 7 out of 10 for a comedy. That's pretty freaking good. The second one, just a real quick like synopsis for you. So like Andy said in the first one, there's a person. His name is Curly. He's like a tough, like kind of like a Clint Eastwood type,
The
and
cowboy, yeah.
he's the cowboy, like the true blue cowboy, and he ends up dying unfortunately in the first one. But his twin brother in the second one introduces this like map of a treasure hunt they're going on, and it's all about finding treasure. This second movie, and that's even more fun. It's like another adventure. Unfortunately, they didn't bring Bruno Kirby back for that one. It was actually John Lovitz.
Mm-hmm.
Lovitz. Yeah, and he was good. He was actually ended up being the brother of Billy Crystal, playing the brother of Billy Crystal. So it was kind of cool. The second one, I was hesitant when I first watched it as a kid because it changed the characters a little bit, but I actually liked it a lot. The whole treasure aspect and them hunting for gold, and it was just cool. I really think you'd dig it, Daniel.
Yeah, I'm not against it. I just for whatever reason I didn't watch it. That the guys actually at work were making fun of me because I haven't seen a lot of like John Candy's movie either, and I know right now they got like a documentary out on him, but like I haven't seen like Uncle Buck, that planes train movie.
Oh
Uh,
man, those are
yeah,
good, dude.
Yeah, those are
yeah, I
good
haven't seen
movies.
those. Yeah, and those are like classic movies. But yeah, the only thing I know him from is like Home Alone, Vacation, and like Splash, but that's about it. But yeah, there's a lot of these old 80s comedies that
Stripes.
I really didn't watch. Yeah.
What about Cool Runnings?
Yeah, I didn't see that one either. Yeah, I didn't see Cool
Oh
Runnings
yeah,
either.
yeah. All those are what people call bangers. Those are the ones you gotta watch. Yeah,
Yeah, I got it
for
from
comedy.
right.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for comedy stuff at least. Something new I've been playing, switch it up a little bit. I played Indika. It's a short like indie game. It's about a 4 hour long game, cinematic. I still haven't beaten it fully, but I'm getting towards the end of it. Really simplistic gameplay. It's more akin to like a minor puzzle solving walking simulator. And there's a story behind it, but it shows you in cutscenes and stuff, and you're just kind of walking to the next cutscene essentially. And it's pretty interesting. I wouldn't say good or bad. I'm still undecided. Because I'm like halfway through. So far, it's kind of quirky. It's strange. It's about this nun who I think is in Russia, and she's battling this like hallucination possession type thing that's going on with her. And at the worst moments when she's around people, she will hallucinate something and it'll make her like get startled or act out abruptly, and people look at her like she's crazy and they want nothing to do with her, and they kind of hate her and treat her really badly. And at a certain point they tell her, they kind of make up an excuse to get her out of there. So they tell her she has to deliver a letter to another monastery. So she ends up leaving that monastery to go to another one and deliver this letter. Along the way, some stuff happens. She comes across a prisoner, and she ends up like inadvertently saving him and saving his life. And it's pretty interesting. I thought it was gonna be a horror game. It's more like a weird psychological type game. Um, so yeah, I'm about halfway through. We'll see how that finishes up. Have you heard of this one before?
No, it's funny you bring it up because I usually stalk people online and see what they're playing on PlayStation, and I saw you were playing this, and I just happened to go to some clips to kind of just see a picture of it, and it did look more like a horror game, like one of those interactive walk simulators. So I was curious if you're going to bring it up, just to ask you if there was like any action, or you're just walking through the scene, interacting with certain objects, but really there's no further interaction with the game. Like you're not shooting things, you're not platforming and stuff like that.
You do platforming. You don't shoot things. There's no action in that regards, at least not yet. And I'm about halfway through.
Okay.
There's a scene with a dog that's chasing you and it's trying to kill you. It's like a huge like wolf dog, and it could easily destroy this woman you're playing as. So you're running away, and there's different paths you could take, and it's like trial and error. Like you die, all right, that's not the path. Let's try a different one. And then there's like little obstacles, like puzzles, and there's also like you have to like shimmy your way and move boxes to climb up, and so you do have to do some puzzle solving, kind of like Little Nightmares, but it's more atmospheric in a realistic sense because you're in this Russian. It's like Siberia. It's like all snowed and just cold and just dilapidated, and it's just, yeah, it's interesting. It's more atmospheric.
Right.
Um, but yeah, there's no weapons that you're attacking with, but there is little small puzzle games that you play too that's like pixelated. And there's also this concept where you can pray to overcome the hallucinations. There's a demon that's talking to her in her mind. It's like constantly putting her down. It's kind of like a comedic thing too. It's kind of like
Wow.
laughing at her and just putting her down, like you suck, and like they hate you, and they think you're stupid and all sorts of stuff, right? It reminds me of, what is that, Hellblade or whatever
Yeah,
game?
yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of like that, and there's a moment where the world like fractures, and it's like a dark red like environment you're in, and the demon's talking to you, and the only way to overcome it is to pray. You have to hit a button, and she starts praying like, beloved father, blah blah blah, whatever, and then the world kind of comes back together, and then you have to use that in and out of hallucination to traverse around, because let's say something is blocked, when you let the demon break the world, you can get around that, and then you pray again, and then it pulls it back together, and now you find your way out. So it's like a weird part of the puzzle solving.
Wow, wow, very interesting. Like I said, when I saw you were playing it, I went to check some clips and it did look kind of like horror-ish, but the environment and the way they're presenting it looked really interesting. So it was definitely something that looked like, man, I might try this if it's, a few bucks kind of thing.
Yeah, I think right now it might actually be if you have PS Plus, it might be free. I'm not quite sure, but it depends what level do you have. Do you have the essentials or the higher ones?
Just the essentials.
Okay, yeah, no, I think you need the higher ones. I only have essentials as well, so um yeah, I would say it's worth it. And if anything, I could always just give you my copy. I think once I'm done with it, that'll probably it, man. I was thinking of selling it, but honestly, if you're down to play it, I'll just give it to you, man.
Oh, cool, man.
So yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I was just playing some PS5 and trying to just, get back into it a little bit more on the games because I haven't really played as much recently and a lot of these games are getting older, man. I got to start getting through them since I have them here. So, I'm not sure what the next one will be after Indica. I'm kind of leaning towards Horizon Zero Dawn.
Nice.
Um and then that way you can play the sequel because I've never played either of them. So but I'll kind of keep you guys in the loop on that one. I think that's it for me, though. Let's go ahead and switch it over to you, Daniel. And it looks like, and yeah, I was talking with Alana yesterday about this. So she said you guys watched Ed Gein, the monster documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, man, this was really, really good. We really like the way Netflix puts this together. It's eluding me which monsters they did before this, but they had a monsters like oh, it was the twin guys, not the twins, but the two brothers that killed their parents. That was the previous monsters, the Mendez kids.
Menendez.
Yeah, yeah, that was the previous one that Netflix did. And then the one before that was the Jeffrey Dahmer one. So Netflix does an awesome job. These are just dramas, so it's not like a documentary, and it's just like a drama of what was going on, how they got into their situations. But this one's on the Ed Geins, which for people that don't know, Ed Gein, he was a Washington serial killer, I guess if you want to call him that. But at least crime-wise, he was only like committed of a few murders, so it wasn't even that many. But it's just how weird he was. He, a lot of movies use him as like the base character, like Psycho, with the whole infatuation with the mother, um, Silence of the Lambs with the eating of the flesh and body parts. What other one is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre because he would, on occasion kill people with chainsaws. So yeah, they a lot of movies based a little nugget off of this guy, and the Netflix kind of goes into it. Weirdish kind of guy. Has an infatuation with his mother because it's just him, his brother, and the mom living in this like farmstead place. And then the brother is out of the equation, so then it's just him and his mom, and it just kind of tumbles from there. Really cool Netflix documentary. I also like watching after I see movies like this to see how accurate they are. So usually I go to YouTube and see how accurate. And I guess this one did take a few liberties, in particular with the girlfriend aspect that he had, but very cool, man. I'm not sure if you guys even heard of Ed Gein. I'm assuming you've heard it, Noel, being a horror fan.
Yeah, of course. Actually, I'm a big fan of the Texas Chainsaw franchise, and I have just about all of the movies, I think. So Ed Gein, while I don't know too much about him, and I have not seen this documentary yet, I'll probably end up downloading it if they have it on available for download. But I'm intrigued. He's always a fascinating character. Like just really, just depressing too, though. It's crazy how this guy existed and killed so many people, dude.
Right. No, yeah, for sure. I know you're not big into horror, Andy. Did you even know about this guy?
No, I just like Noel. I did see everybody start. It was trending like a couple weeks ago, and is based off the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and a couple of people already recommended it to me, but I'm not. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm not. In no rush to see it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it did huge numbers on Netflix, 12.2 million viewers within the 3 days of its release. In the second week, it even increased, went up to 20 million viewers. So this thing has been doing gangbusters. Uh, okay in reviews. Some people don't like how it's not 100% true. Because with a lot of these drama movies, they do add little wrinkles that make it different to make it more dramatic. And like I mentioned, there's a girlfriend aspect of it that there's a nugget of truth, but they kind of, exaggerate a little bit on it. But very cool. Do recommend it for you people to go check it out. Another good Netflix drama that they put together. A couple of quick things about me. We just put up our fence, man. I think I've mentioned it, but last winter, so we're coming up to the year anniversary of it. I had a panel or two fall down during a really big winter storm. Because as we know, when we get those winter storms here in the Midwest, that wind really kicks up and we get those 50 mile per hour winds. And when we moved into the house, we kind of knew that this was something that we would need to replace sooner or later. And it finally gave out last winter. Well, anyways, as soon as it became spring, I started chasing quotes and it was terribly expensive. I never realized how expensive a wood fence could be. So yeah, needless to say, saving up money, finally was able to save up what I needed, and we got it put up a couple weeks ago. And man, this fence is beautiful, man. I'm super happy with it. Ended up finding a guy on Thumbtack, one of those apps for sourcing help and work. And this guy came over, gave me a quote. I told him exactly what I was looking for, and within 2 or 3 days, he banged out the entire job, him and his crew. And yeah, man, the wood has this like awesome smell to it because it's like fresh. It's like come out of the mill kind of shit, man. It's like really good. We're really happy. We're like really excited to because we ended up picking cedar, which is one of those woods that you could kind of stain. So we're looking into maybe staining it next year instead of just painting it to maybe get more of that like wood natural color on it. But yeah, Alana was super happy. So which is sometimes the hard part because I remember when we were getting our roof done, I looked at it and I'm like, yeah, that looks nice. And then she happened to come out in a different time because the contractor's like, yeah, come out, look at it. We're about 3/4 of the way done, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, yeah, it looks good, man. Let me know when you guys are done. Alana went out and looked at it, and she wasn't too happy. So she came back, and she's just like, no, you got to tell him this, you got to tell him that. We got to fix this, we got to fix that. So um, with the wood fence, I was kind of waiting for something like that. But when she came out with me to kind of look at it, she was totally happy with it. So super excited, man, that get that behind us. And kind of a funny thing with the mortgage thing that you had going, Andy. When I went to go get the money out of the bank to pay for the fence, they were trying to push me to take some of the equity of my house out so that I can pay with it with that. But I was just like, no, I don't want
Yeah.
to mess. I don't want to mess with the house. I'm like, thank God I was able to save up the money and it's there sitting in my savings account. I just need to pull it out. And like two or three times I I almost started feeling a little uncomfortable because the lady was like adamant, like you could take it out of your equity, you could take it out. It won't cost you anything. It won't affect anything. And I was just like, no, no, I'm okay. I'm fine. Thank you. But yeah, yeah, I was able to get the wood fence
Yeah.
and super happy.
That's what they do. They the processing fees and all that bullshit, and or they want you to take another loan against it or some bullshit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really look into it and see what the benefits would be to take out from the equity. I know it's from the money that I've put into the house plus whatever interest it's made from the value of it. But I didn't even look to contemplate that. Like I mentioned, I was able to save up the
Yeah.
money. But yeah, be interesting to see maybe the next big home improvement and see if it's even an option or do I just do like I did and just save up the money.
Yeah, do it the
But
hard way, Danny. Save up the money.
yeah, no,
Or use
I,
your
I
credit card.
right. I was gonna use the credit card just to get the points and then pay off the credit card. But when
Hmm.
I asked the guy if he would accept credit card payment, he's like, "Yeah, I do, but I charge you an extra $500." And I'm like, "Ah, forget it. I'm not gonna get $500 in points, so I'll just pay it." But yeah, jumping onto something else that I did is this past weekend actually I went to a comedy show and it was pretty cool, man. It's been a while since I've gone to a comedy show. In my younger days, I went to a few, but yeah, I went to a comedy show. This one was actually at my church. It was a comedian that they contracted to come in. So this comedian was a little more clean as far as his comedy act. Um, but yeah, he did a lot of like situational comedy, kind of like Jerry Springer-ish, if you had to say. It's kind of like, yeah, when I was younger, you know, I did babysitting and this happened, and then the situation is what's funny, and not necessarily him being crude and making fun of things and making fun of people. So it was different, but the I wasn't really expecting much, to be honest. My expectations were kind of low. I'm like, we're gonna go, and there's just gonna be like popcorn vendors, and they had said they were gonna get food trucks, so I assumed there was gonna be a couple of food trucks outside, so you can get some food if you want it. But when we got there, man, like it was like redecorated. They had like these decorations on the wall. They had these graphics up on the screen that, had a comedy show logo and like curtains and then the food trucks, there was like four or five food trucks with different stuff. There was one with like desserts, there was one with tacos, there was a donut one, and there was just a bunch of different foods and coffee, hot chocolate, all this stuff. They had a fire pit going, so people wanted to chill outside. It was a really cool atmosphere, man. I really dug it. I really don't go to too many events at my church, but yeah, this is one of a few that I've gone to, and it was really cool. Makes me excited for maybe the next thing that they do that seems interesting, because this was really a cool event and something cool that I enjoyed. Last,
We had the pancake breakfast thing today for church, man. Made
oh
me miss
man,
that.
yeah, those are always good, man. I love those pancakes. Christian, he volunteers at his church, at least many years ago he did. I'm not sure if he does anymore. And he would have the pancake thing, and he would tell us about it. And it was always a good time. For some reason, the church pancakes are just good, man. And I'm not a big pancake eater, but yeah, they're really good. How were yours, Andy?
I didn't know they were after after mass. I had
Oh,
to
so you
come
left.
here, man. Plus, I can't even eat that shit right now.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
Because
But
my wife's
yeah,
like, it's only like, it's a fundraiser. It's only like $10 and a person, or if we do a family of this, it's $30. Like, I'm like, I can't go. You guys can go. Just drop me off at the house.
right. No, those are usually pretty good. So yeah,
That's what
too
I
bad you had
heard.
to miss out. Last thing I wanted to bring up really quick before we jump into our article is I watched a movie. Not sure if you've watched this one, Noel, or not, but it's called Good Boy. This is a movie that just came out this year. Um, did pretty good as far as money wise. Its budget, which you could kind of see, it kind of has like that independent film kind of look to it. 750,000 budget, and it made 8.5 million in the box office. So this thing did really well. It's a really interesting plot as far as and a perspective of a movie that it's from the perspective of the dog. So there's a dog in the movie. There's a young adult. He's dealing with like an illness, and then he has a dog. And as he's going through his situations of this like horror movie, because it's a horror movie, the movie is shown through the dog's perspective, not necessarily POV, but more you get to see the dog dealing with the situation. So like it'll show like a kind of like a wide image of the guy and the dog, and then there'll be a noise, and instead of the camera kind of going behind the adult to kind of get his perspective of what he's dealing with, it'll go behind the dog and get to see what the dog is kind of looking at while the dog is still kind of in the frame. And it was super, super cool, man. It was really different. I've never seen a movie like this, and I don't know if it was just that, the uniqueness that made it cool, but I thought the movie was okay as well. The ending was a little weird where I didn't really understand it, and I haven't seen a YouTube as far as trying to explain it to me because maybe it's just something I didn't grasp in the movie, which is a possibility for sure. But it was really cool. Did you hear about this, Noel? Did you even see it?
Yes, I did, man. I actually, when I saw it on your list of topics, I was pretty excited to talk about it because I actually really liked it. It's not like an amazing movie or anything, but
Right.
it was good. It was worth watching. It's fun. Well, not fun, but it was entertaining. It was definitely entertained, and it was better than I thought it was going to be, having it be in the perspective of the dog. And I have my theories because I was also a little bit confused, but then I rewatched a couple scenes and I was like, okay, I think I get what's going on here. And it speaks more to just the way life is, and for people that are terminal or have illnesses and they have pets, what happens when they pass on that day. That dog is going to be there and not know what's going on, and it's going to be, afraid. And I think throughout the movie, what it was seeing was death coming for its owner, right?
Oh, okay.
I, because it kind of seemed like a demon or something evil coming for him, but I think it was just him getting more sick and death kind of keeping tabs on him and coming back to check, is this the day? Is this the day? Until it was finally the day. And the coincidence was that the owner, the guy, his father passed away in the same method, and his father's dog ended up dying down there as well from starvation. Because the dog is such a good boy, and that's why they call it the title of the movie, Good Boy. He didn't leave his owner's side. But this dog, I think, is also the child of the other dog, just like the son is the child of the father that passed away. And so the son is passing away from the similar illness. He's coughing, he's all that. I think he has like terminal, cancer. And so he passes away at the end of it. Spoilers, sorry guys. But he the dog is able to get away. Like the owner says, like, get out of here, go. And the dog is like hesitant, he doesn't want to go. The What saves him is that girl, his I think it was his sister
The
or something like
sister,
that.
right? Yeah,
She comes over and she's like calling him, and she sees like something horrific down there. I think she sees his dead body. And then so she's calling the dog, and the dog's like hesitant. He's like, should I go over there? He hears like the whistle or something. So the dog's like, I want to go back to my owner. But yeah, I think he realizes like, he's not going to be there anymore, and it's not for him to go with him. Like, it's not his time to
right.
die and go with him. So he goes with the sister, and that's how he gets saved. So it kind of breaks the cycle because the previous, his father and his father's dog both died in that cellar because of starvation. The dog did, at least, starvation.
Yeah, that's interesting, the perspective of it being death, because I took it as the demon or whatever it was part of the house. And so I'm like, all right, so this demon killed the dad already, and now it's trying to kill the son. And that's the perspective that I took it. But the way you're describing it is definitely a lot cooler. If it's death and the only reason it killed the old man is because he was dying, and the reason why it was coming back again was because the son was also dealing with a similar situation. But yeah, that definitely sounds cool. I think maybe the dogs being related, that'd be like a little too much on the nose.
Yeah.
But that'd be kind of cool too, I guess. But yeah, really cool movie for any kind of horror fan out there, and not even horror because it's not even that crazy horror. It's PG-13, so I mean it's not like gory. It's more like paranormal activity horror, where it's just like frights and scares and shadows that you're kind of seeing in the background and trying to figure out what it is. But really cool. Definitely recommend it. Not so much for the movie because the movie is not that great, like Noel said. If I had a guess on Rotten Tomato, it's probably like a 70 or maybe a high 60. But really cool how they put it together, and recommend it in that aspect. But guys, we're running out of time, so let's jump into our article of the week. All right, guys, going into this article of the week. Originally, the article that I sent to the guys was a Wall Street Journal, but then I realized that they only have a limited amount of articles that you can view. What's up with that, man? It's like you got to pay for this to read something. But I ended up finding another one that's just a mirror of it from Fox Business. So that's probably the one I'll drop into our pod here. But it's the same thing. Charlie Cook's assassination drives a jump in Bible sales. So the article kind of goes into a few of the details, but the basic gist of it is ever since his assassination, there's been a spike in Bible sales. Starting with September, showed a $2.5 million copies sold in the United States, and this is a 36% jump during this same month last year. So uh, it kind of goes into a few more details, and the article kind of shows how President Trump has given the wife, I believe her name's Erica, the Medal of Honor or something for Charlie Kirk. But yeah, man, to me, I understand 100% why Bible studies have gone up. I know Charlie Kirk, although he's popular to some and hated by others, was a devout Christian. He wore that on his sleeve and he did not shy away from it. I myself am a Christian too, but I don't go out broadcasting it. So I give him kudos in that aspect because he really was a Christian from top to bottom, at least outwards to kind of present that. So because of that and because of his death, Bible sales have gone up. So I just found that very interesting, and I'm happy that at least something positive came out from his death, which is unfortunate, but I really dig that more people are going into the revival of going back to church. I'm really pleased to hear Andy going back. I know it's tough when a new baby is born and trying to get back into the routine. So really pleased to hear that Andy goes back. But just opening it up to the guys, are you surprised, Andy, that Bible sales have surged following his death?
No, man. Usually after tragedies in the United States, people do go back to church, or the I want to say Bible sales, but generally people do go back.
To something
Yeah,
of faith,
something of faith, and
right?
then I think especially after the uh, the last the last president we had, and he was very open to other things minus faith, even though he claimed to be a devout Catholic. People were kind of upset, and I think Christians in general now are even more. Uh, they speak louder now, and they preach more. I think than in the past, because of stuff that's going on in this country and parts of Europe, where other faiths seem to be growing and being more in your face. So there is somewhat of a pushback, but in this country, yeah, I mean, I think I remember reading something like this similar after 9/11, and even after the recession, people were kind of lost and like they couldn't understand like what was going on. So people leaned into their faith, or they go back to their faith that they grew up on and kind of just and that they walked away from, because I think there was uh, I remember reading that especially the millennials in the generations. I think millennials now are more. Uh, I've been reading that they're more conservative than Generation Z and what came afterwards, Y and all that, because they're older and they have kids and they have a better understanding. And But I think for a long time, like anybody, when you get older, you become more conservative. I think because after you have a family, but I think people are more embracing it now because it's more. There's more people talking about it. There's more with social media. There's just people just talk about it more.
Yeah, it's funny you bring up that aspect. I've never really considered that. But Noel, do you think that the older you get, the more you're prone to go into some kind of faith, and when you're younger, you're more like the world spiritual versus like a faith spiritual?
It's a good question, man. I can't really. It's hard to answer, to be honest with you. I myself am more spiritual now than I was younger. I was not indoctrinated, but I was put into this path where it seemed like this is the path to go on because that's what everyone's doing. And if I deviate, I'm kind of going against, it's like a taboo, like I'm going against the grain. And so it was for a while where I was struggling with like what to believe and what to do. And then in the end, I followed what I think is I do base my stuff around the commandments. I base my stuff on that and how to live life as a good try to be a good person. That's my main goal is to always have that as like the focal point is what can I do that's good? Like just try to be good and do no harm. That's pretty much it. So I use that as my moral compass, try not to harm others and do good for myself and for others, the people I care about. But I wouldn't say it has to be tied to a specific God or a specific deity or religion or church. It's more of a just a natural thing. I would assume, at least from my perspective, I would assume to not want to harm others, to want to be living in peace um and health, right? So yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point that you brought up, Andy. I never really, I mean, I guess I've thought about it, but I've never really considered that the older you get, the more you'll lean to it. I don't know if that's just because you feel like you're one foot into the grave kind of thing, and so you want to try to get as close to
It's
something so you
everything.
can,
Yeah, if
yeah,
you got a family, you got kids, you're not by yourself. So, and if you're a man, I mean, I know people don't like roles, but you're supposed to be a provider and a protector, and like you have, especially if you have sons, you wanna protect. I mean, you hear athletes talk about your legacy, your name, your last name. So you want your kids to do good, and you want them to have some faith into some spirituality. And so you start, you know, you just start doing them what you do or you grew up as or whatever you want to call it. But in general, yeah, I mean, that's what the more your life is more in the rear view than you have like instead of like when you're young, your whole life's ahead of you, and then slowly one day you notice it's like, oh shit, like I don't, if we put things in perspective, I'm not gonna be here as long as I think I want to, but so you start preparing for stuff and especially with the kids and you want to get right with the man upstairs.
yeah, for sure. What's your perspective on the Bible studies, Bible sales, Noel? Does that make sense to you, or did you expect that?
Yeah, that does make sense. Based on his upbringing and how his faith was in God, and more so in the Bible and Christianity based, it makes a lot of sense. He did have a lot of followers. I was really saddened to hear when he died, man. I thought it was fake when I first saw it. Like somebody at work showed me the video, and it was sad, man. I was like, "There's no freaking way! Like this got to be fake AI or something." And then when I found out the truth, I was like, "This is crazy, dude." So it makes sense that because of something so hard to deal with, like something so tragic, and so like just in everyone's face, like it was so just out there that it makes sense that there's got to be a balance, and people they're seeking God right now and trying to find a way to navigate through all this craziness in this world.
Yeah, I think Andy brought it up. Usually during tragedy, um, for me, my Christianity, but most people just go to their faith and go to something during hardship. But yeah, man, it's to me, it's not something surprising that Bible sales have gone up, and you see it sometimes in movies. They'll put a scene or two when there's a huge tragedy going on, like I forget which asteroid movie there is. I don't know if it's where there's an asteroid coming to Earth and it's going to crash, and then they'll show a scene or two of like people in droves going to church and stuff like that.
It's
Uh, is it
it's funny.
Armageddon or which one? Like
Maybe there's
Impact.
an episode of The Simpsons where the asteroid is coming or something, a comet,
Right.
and they all go to Marge is like, this is where we go to church, and then the Reverend Lojo is like running on the middle of the street. It's all over, people. It's all over. The man they're supposed to learn, and he's like, it's over. Like we're done. That scene always makes me laugh.
Yeah. No, well, what can we do though, other than just try to use what we've learned, use our life experience, and use your upbringing and your faith, and just try to navigate as best as you can to deal with whatever comes. Um, Things are going to happen that are out of our control. It's how we react to it that matters. So, here's for everyone out there. Hopefully, you're doing okay and you're finding a way to navigate through this just crazy time in this world. But I think that it does wrap things up for today, everybody. We do want to thank you for joining us on the Freeform Network. If you're not already, you can follow us on X at FFR Podcast. And if you have any questions or suggestions, the email for that is ffnquestions@gmail.com. It is free to sign up. It is free to send us questions. It's no charge. It's on us. So go ahead and sign up and send us those questions. From Freeform Radio, my name is Noel, and we have Daniel.
Heck yeah, man. Gotta go watch them Bears. I know, kind of scary, man. Heart attack Bears for sure, man. Ugly wins, but gonna go watch them.
Yeah, gotta keep rooting for them. And we got Andy.
It's all good, Andy. Thank you guys for listening. We try to keep upbeat, and we won't try to be so Debbie Downers too much.
Yeah, we'll bounce back for the next one. But we wish you a great night and a beautiful tomorrow.
That was cool, Dad.